Hi everyone, it's Jennifer from Fiberflux. Welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you joined us today because we're going to learn how to crochet this gorgeous Beach Morning Crochet Shawl. This is light, lovely, and it's so much fun to stitch up. So I crocheted this shawl with just one yarn cake, so it was very satisfying, just one cake of yarn. The color work was all done for me. It's kind of like a color block with some gradients in there too. And it is with baby yarn. So when you wrap it around yourself, it feels soft and squishy and it's just really fun to wear. Now, I use this bright kind of summer palette, so I wanted to pair it up with a light and airy mesh stitch. So this is done with just really simple double crochets and chains, and that is it. It's so easy to make and very, very fast. So we're going to go through the whole pattern step by step and stitch by stitch together today. You can also find the full written pattern over at the blog for free. And then if you want to get the ad-free PDF, you can find that over in my Etsy shop and my Ravelry shop as well. All the links can be found down below for this pattern, and you can just check those out down below. So we're going to jump in, but before we get started, be sure and click that subscribe button to get all the latest Fiberflux video updates. I share full pattern tutorials like this one, roundups, and sometimes we just hang out and chat about crochet, and Fiberflux is always a super fun place to hang out. And we have the best community ever. So if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure and click that subscribe button to get all the latest Fiberflux video updates. So let's jump in and learn how to crochet this gorgeous shawl. Okay, so let's take a look up close at our lovely shawl. It has some gradients going on, some lovely color blocking. It's just a really fun shawl and super soft because again, we're using that baby yarn. The finished shawl is about 13 inches wide and 64 inches long. However, when we start working on the shawl, I am going to talk about multiples so you can customize the width of your shawl, and then just repeating the pattern repeat will give you the length that you want if you need to customize it a little bit more, want a little bit different size. So let's jump in next and talk about supplies. For this project, you'll need a pair of scissors, a tapestry needle for weaving in ends. A tape measure is super helpful, especially if you want to kind of customize the size a little bit. I'm going to show you how to do that. We'll talk about multiples in just a minute. I'm going to be using a 5mm H crochet hook for this project. This is my Furl Streamline in the wood. It's really beautiful. I'll put the link down below if you'd like to get one for yourself. And then we're going to use this really soft, bright, happy yarn. This is Mandala Baby from Lion Brand Yarn. It's soft. It comes in just kind of like happy, feel-good, warm weather colors. And this is, we're going to use one of these yarn cakes. So each cake of this is 590 yards, 540 meters, 5.3 ounces. This is an acrylic yarn. It's self-striping, as you can see. It's kind of like slow changing self-striping. So it's going to be kind of like more like a color block effect. Some are more fast changing and you get more of a variety of color quickly, but this is more of a color block effect. You can kind of see it on the label here, how it makes like wider stripes. And then if you need to substitute, the colorway here that I'm using is called Narnia, and it does come in dye lots, just so you know if you're using more than one yarn cake. If you need to substitute yarn though, just look for a number 3 light on the yarn weight scale. You can see it right on my yarn label. And this actually does recommend the 5mm H crochet hook. We are using the recommended hook size for this. So if you stick with those parameters, you'll be just fine if you need to substitute yarn. So let's jump in and learn how to crochet our shawl. Okay, so I have my yarn and hook and we're ready to go. Now we're going to do a starting chain of 67 chains. That's the one I'm going to show you, the one in the pictures, and at the beginning of the video is done with 67 chains. However, if you want to change the width of your shawl and make it wider or narrower, if you want to make a scarf or an oversized shawl, whatever you want to do, just go with any odd number for your starting chain, okay? And it's a very easy pattern, and I'm going to show you. It's super, super easy. Okay, so what we're going to do is leave yourself a little tail. Wrap the yarn around your fingers to make a loop. Bring the yarn behind the loop. Reach in with your hook, bring up the loop, and tighten, okay? Like I said, we're going to do 67 chains. To make a chain, wrap the yarn around the hook and just bring it through the loop. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, and 67. Okay, so once you do your starting chain, you can kind of like lay it out and look at it and just make sure that the width is something that you're okay with. You can adjust it at this time if you need to. Okay, again, any odd number will be just fine. Okay, so let's move on to row 1. This is just 2 rows we're going to learn, and then row 2 is the row that you repeat for the entire shawl. Okay, so for row 1, what we're going to do is work a double crochet in the 5th chain from the hook. Okay, so this loop here does not count. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So to make a double crochet, wrap the yarn around the hook, insert it into that chain, wrap yarn around hook again, bring up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Wrap yarn around hook, bring it through the first 2 loops. Wrap yarn around hook, bring it through the last 2 loops. Okay? Then all we're going to do is chain 1, then go back down here and skip a chain, and in the next chain, do the same thing. Double crochet, chain 1. Okay? So double crochet, chain 1. Skip the next chain, and in the chain after that, do the same thing. Double crochet, chain 1. Okay, skip the next chain, and the chain after that, double crochet, chain 1. Okay, now just keep repeating this all the way across, and then when we rejoin, we'll finish up row 1 and move on to row 2. Okay, we're just coming up to the end of the row. We have 2 chains left, so we're going to skip that next chain, and in that very last chain, work a double crochet. Okay, and row 1 is complete. So we've kind of just set up the row for the rest of our pattern here, and you can see how it looks really nice, almost like a little ladder. Okay, so let's move on to row 2. And like I mentioned before, row 2 is the row we'll be repeating for the rest of the shawl. So for row 2, what we'll do is chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then turn our work. Then we're going to work a double crochet into this very first space here that you see. So right into the space, super easy. And then we're going to chain 1. And then next what we're going to do is just work a double crochet, chain 1 into each one of these spaces across. So if you look in the written pattern, it says work a double crochet, chain 1 into each chain 1 space. So the chain 1 space just means it was the space that was created by working that chain 1 in the previous row. Okay, so double crochet in the next space, chain 1. Next space, double crochet, chain 1. Next space, double crochet, chain 1, and so forth. Okay, so continue across and we'll rejoin in just a minute. Okay, coming up to the end of the row, just working a double crochet, chain 1 into each one of these spaces across. Now we're at the end of the row and we have our last stitch and then that turning chain. All we're going to do to finish off the row is to work a double crochet into the topmost chain of the turning chain. Okay, so you can see it kind of come around the side here. What we're going to do is just locate, you might need to like kind of stretch it open a little bit. This is the stitch, so that's the top of the stitch. So right here next to it is our turning chain. Just work a double crochet in the topmost chain of our turning chain to finish the row. Okay, and then row 2 is complete. So let's zoom out a little bit so we can see what we have here. We have a beautiful beginning to our shawl. It's very stretchy too, very airy and stretchy. I just love it. And super soft because we're using baby yarn. But we have some nice stitch work going, just super easy, nice little mesh stitch. And you're just going to repeat, like I said before, row 2 over and over and over again until your shawl is as tall or long as you'd like it to be. And you can go till your yarn cake is used up. You can go until it's a certain length. If you used your tape measure, you can take it to a certain length. However you want to do it, just repeat row 2 until it's as long as you would like it to be. So I'm going to keep going with my row 2, and when we rejoin, you can see all these beautiful colors play out, and we'll do some finish work, finish up the last row, weave in some ends, etc. Okay, so keep going with row 2 and we'll rejoin in just a minute. All right, just coming up to the end of the last row, working that double crochet into the top of that turning chain, just like that, okay? And you can see I just have a little bit of yarn left, not quite enough to do another row. I don't want to push my luck here. But we have a beautiful shawl. You can see all these lovely color blocks. And with this particular yarn cake, sometimes the color changed more in a color block sense where it shifted very visually, very graphically from one color to the other. And sometimes it was more of a kind of a gradient shift. So it looks very pretty. It's a very fresh looking, happy little shawl. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our tapestry needle and our scissors. And we're just going to cut our yarn, leaving a little bit of a tail, and then go ahead and fasten off. So wrap the yarn around the hook and just pull it through that loop that's on your hook and tighten it down. And then I used one cake. If you used more than one cake or ball of yarn, you might have more ends. But I have one end where I began and one end where I ended. Okay, so all I'm going to do is thread my needle. You can give this a little bit of a twist to help send it through the eye of the needle if you need to. And I'm just going to go in to some of these loops here in a little bit, couple inches or so. And with any kind of yarn that has a color change like this, just make sure your tail stays in the same color area so it will be nice and camouflaged, okay? And I like to take it in one direction and then come back in the other direction just to help lock that tail in place, especially if it's something that you're going to wear and it's going to move around a lot. You want that tail to be sort of locked in place. And then once you're done, remove your needle and give it a snip. And then we're just going to repeat for the other side as well. Okay, our ends are all woven in, the colors are beautiful, and that is how you crochet the Beach Morning Shawl. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure and click the subscribe button to get all the latest Fiberflux video updates. Bye everyone!